So good afternoon. I'm Ronnie Miller, President and CEO of Roche Pharmaceuticals Canada, located here in Mississauga, Ontario. First, I'd like to personally thank Premier Ford, Deputy Premier Elliott, Minister Fedeli, and their entire team for their tireless efforts in steering our province through such an unprecedented public health crisis. Your commitment to the people of Ontario is evident, and your solutions-oriented engagement with our industry is greatly welcomed. And on behalf of our entire industry, a tremendous thanks to all our healthcare workers across the province for all they are doing to save and improve patients' lives every single day. Now, as a leading healthcare company, Roche has been playing an active role in the fight against COVID-19. We have developed a growing number of diagnostic solutions, and we continue to identify, develop, and support potential therapies, each of which can play a role in treating the virus. Manufacturers and their suppliers around the globe are facing unprecedented pressure, and here at home we continue to work closely with the Ministry of Health and the laboratory network in Ontario and across the country to support capacity building and scale best practices to meet the challenge our healthcare system is facing. Roche is committed to working alongside all levels of government to create a sustainable and equitable healthcare system. But it's important to note that at a time when the world is looking to our industry for new therapeutics, vaccines and diagnostics, the federal government is implementing reforms that will limit our industry's ability to deliver new innovations Canadian patients are waiting for. Our current global health crisis has only reinforced the importance of strengthening this sector, and today we are sharing some good news on something that we've been working on for some time. Roche Canada is pleased to announce a significant jobs investment for the life sciences industry. This is not only a major boost for our province, but for our country. This investment establishes our new global pharma technical site here in Mississauga, which will bring up to 500 highly skilled and specialized full-time positions, representing a $500 million investment over 5 years. By the end of 2020, we will have hired 200 positions and up to 300 more by the end of 2023. This division is responsible for supporting the global manufacturing process and supply chain distribution of Roche's innovative therapies to more than 125 million patients facing illness around the world. Canada competed among 12 international locations and Roche sites to secure this investment, and Ontario is now poised to compete with other jurisdictions for future investments in the province. All of this was made possible by the steady leadership of the provincial government and their efforts to reduce red tape and their commitment to an open for business investment environment. Importantly, discussions with this government have always included representation from across ministries to ensure a holistic discussion that balances healthcare system sustainability and growth of the sector. Thanks to a positive economic environment and an exceptional STEM talent pool, Ontario can be a leader when it comes to innovation and the hub of a growing life sciences sector that is recognized internationally. Without the support of all three levels of government, this investment would not have been possible. Today's investment shows what is possible when government works in partnership with the private sector, and we're thrilled to be here today to share this great news for Ontario. Thank you again to everyone here and those who helped make this significant investment possible. And now I'm pleased to welcome the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, to the podium.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Ronnie and Damien, for that warm welcome. It's great to be back in Mississauga at the Roche Canada offices. And I'm glad to be joined today by my Economic Development Minister, Vic Fedeli, along with my Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Christine Elliott, and our local champion for Mississauga-Streetsville, MPP Nina Tangren. I'm gonna give Nina a special shout out. Nina was instrumental in this making this happen, so Nina, you're amazing. And so was Mayor Crombie. Mayor Crombie is also here today. She's been an incredible partner here in Mississauga We had a great conversation about supporting businesses and working together to provide immediate relief. So thank you, Mayor Crombie, for your true leadership. My friends, Ontario is home to the largest life sciences cluster in the entire country. We are titans of research and development, leading the creation of life-saving medicines and medical equipment. In fact, Ontario currently leads the country in clinical trials for the development of COVID-19 treatments and vaccines. Of course, Roche has also been a leader in its own right. This company has been at the forefront of developing rapid test kits and producing the reagent we need for testing. Both are absolutely critical in the fight against COVID-19. And all of this important work is happening here, right here in Ontario, right here in Mississauga. And today, we're here for another very important reason. We're here to announce some amazing news. Roche is investing $500 million over 5 years to establish a new global pharma technical operations hub here at their offices right here in Mississauga. The new operations hub will oversee key aspects of Roche's pharma business. This includes supporting and managing Roche's global supply chains, clinical trials, commercial development of new technologies, business strategy, and much, much more. The new hub will also create, as Ronnie was saying, up to 500 skilled and good-paying jobs, and 95% of these jobs will be local hires. That means people in your own backyard are going to get great jobs, and 500 more people within the reach of the Canadian dream. And of course, when people thrive, local businesses thrive and communities thrive. Because my friends, I promise you this, when we get our economy going again, we're going to create prosperity and opportunity the likes of which this province has never seen. And the proof is right here in front of us. Out of all the sites around the world, and I understand there's I believe 12 of them, Canada, the US, and Europe, Roche picked us. Roche picked Ontario for this new hub. Today's announcement, it sends a clear signal. Ontario is the place to innovate, grow, and thrive. I want to again thank Roche Canada for choosing Ontario and for choosing Mississauga to make this game-changing investment. Before I hand it over, I want to address the concerning situation we're seeing in York Region right now. By all accounts, the indicators are going in the wrong direction. We're seeing a rapid increase in the rate of infection, with the positivity rate of 2.77% above the high alert threshold of 2.5%. Cases per 100,000 in York are now nearly 39, well above the provincial average, and similar to what we have seen in our worst hotspots. Most concerning of all, critical care admissions are reaching alarming levels. We had a discussion earlier today at Cabinet about additional measures to protect the people of York Region from COVID-19, and we've consulted with local leaders in York Region, and based on that recommendation of the Chief Medical Officer of Health and the experts in our public health measures table, and I hate doing this, my friends, honestly, I hate this. Effective Monday morning at 12:01 a.m., York Region will move into modified stage 2 for a period of 28 days. My friends, this was not an easy decision to make, and I know this will be very, very difficult for many people to hear, but we can't allow this virus to get into our long-term care homes. We need to protect our schools and our communities. We need to keep performing vital surgeries in our hospitals. We need to stop the spread before things get worse. We need to avoid a full lockdown. We took the same decisive action with Toronto, Ottawa, Peel Region when we saw the same alarming trends. And as I say, and like the first 3 regions to enter a modified stage 2, we will be there for impacted business owners and workers in York. They'll be able to access funding from the $300 million we're putting up for fixed costs like property taxes, hydro, and natural gas bills, along with the federal support as well, with supporting loans for businesses and also for their employees. Friends, I can tell you, when it comes to the province, we will spare no expense to help business owners get through this. They've done everything right. They deserve our support as we do what's needed to get the spread of COVID-19 under control. And I ask all the people in York Region, please support your local businesses. Please support each other through this, because together we will get through this. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll pass it over to Minister Elliott.
Thank you, Premier, and good afternoon. I want to start by echoing the Premier. The trends we've seen in York Region are in the wrong direction. Numbers have jumped, and we need to do everything we can to avoid a very severe second wave. This was not an easy decision, and I say this as a member from York Region. However, that is how fast this pandemic is progressing through its second wave. We know that we are asking very real sacrifices of Ontarians, but this is about potentially preventing something much worse. We need to act now to keep our schools open, to protect our seniors and our loved ones in long-term care, and to avoid the need for harsher measures in the future. Today, I am pleased to join my colleagues here today to applaud Roche Canada for their decision to further invest in our province. Since taking office, our government has been focused on listening to our partners to find new and innovative solutions to any challenges our province may face. Working with our partners, we have taken a comprehensive and pragmatic approach to modernizing the healthcare system so it is organized around the needs of patients and better health outcomes. And we have streamlined regulatory processes in healthcare to remove unnecessary barriers and support innovation, while also making it easier to do business and create jobs. Today's announcement is not only an important boost to our economy, but also demonstrates that businesses recognize our province has a willing partner in our government and an environment that will support their success. We are building an environment that encourages greater investment in the life sciences sector, and we appreciate Roche's milestone contributions to these efforts. And I want to thank Roche for their ongoing support in the province's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, including providing solutions to COVID-19 testing for our lab system. We are always looking at innovations that can help us to improve the patient experience. Having a strong, vibrant health sciences sector will help us to do that. It will enable us to create the partnerships necessary to foster innovation and find new solutions. And that's what makes this investment today so important. Not only is it going to create jobs for Ontarians here and now, but it's also going to position us for future opportunities. It's going to make us even more competitive in the life sciences sector. So thank you for understanding the vision our government has for Ontario and for the confidence you've demonstrated in our plan with this investment. We are happy to have you as a partner and look forward to working together on future opportunities to build up the life sciences sector. Thank you, and I'll now pass it over to Minister Fedeli.
Thank you, Minister Elliott, and thank you, Premier Ford, for your inspiring words today. And thank you to Ronnie and everyone at Roche Canada for your hard work in helping us fight this pandemic. We also want to thank our Parliamentary Assistant, Nina Tangri, for her exceptional work supporting Ontario's vital life sciences sector. It's certainly great to be here for this exciting announcement and to celebrate the creation of 500 new, highly skilled jobs here in Ontario. Ronnie, we truly appreciate your efforts to expand Roche and attract global jobs to Ontario. Your leadership in our pharma sector is remarkable. Damien, welcome and thank you for having the confidence in Ontario and in our highly skilled professionals. Our province is home to one of the best life science sectors in all of North America, and this new investment by Roche demonstrates our strength in the field. We are so proud that Roche chose Ontario for this significant $500 million investment. We know we had some stiff international competition, as the Premier said, but we are thrilled that we won it here in Ontario. Our province's workforce is the best in the world and always up to the challenge of supporting Roche's production and manufacturing plants at 11 sites around the world. Roche is a global company, and Ontario is globally oriented and connected. As the Premier mentioned, our government has continually been focused on removing unnecessary red tape and fostering a competitive business climate so that companies like Roche can do what they do best: innovate, invest, and grow. We want to see even more global companies choose Ontario. With the impacts of COVID-19, this is important now more than ever. It's part of why we're creating a new investment agency, Invest Ontario. It will promote the province as a key investment destination and help bring good jobs to the province while sending a strong signal that Ontario is open for business and open for investment. In a globally competitive world, our new agency will be critical to securing the game-changing anchor investments necessary to spur economic growth and create the jobs both today and tomorrow. Attracting new investments from companies like Roche not only creates exciting new jobs for the people of Ontario, but also enriches our province's world-class research and innovation ecosystem. Congratulations to everyone at Roche on this new expansion. It's now my pleasure to invite to the podium the Mayor of Mississauga, the Honourable Bonnie Crombie.
Good afternoon, and thank you to Minister Fedeli for that very kind introduction. I'm thrilled to have Premier Ford and Ministers Elliott and Fedeli here at Roche Canada's headquarters in Meadowvale, or Pill Hill as we come to affectionately know it now. I'd like to say that it's always a great day in Mississauga, but it is an even better day when we welcome a new investment to our city. We have several representatives from Roche joining us today, and I would like to quickly recognize them, including, of course, Ronnie Miller, Damien Siggins, Andrew Plank, and, of course, Jason Fields from Life Sciences Ontario. Mississauga is proud to be home to Canada's second-largest life sciences cluster, a major hub for business and employment. Growing the life sciences sector has been a top priority of mine, and I'm proud that we are one of the only municipalities in Canada with a bold vision and a targeted life sciences strategy that will help foster growth while nurturing breakthroughs and innovation, such as those that we're seeing right here at Roche. Just a few moments ago, we welcomed a monumental $500 million investment from Roche Canada that will see them expand their footprint here in our city in a very significant way, creating 500 highly skilled jobs, new jobs for Mississauga over the next 5 years, and bringing new innovative products to patients in Canada and across the world. This couldn't be more timely given our current reality. COVID-19 has shown us just how vital our life sciences sector is to the health and the well-being of our community. It's innovative Mississauga-based companies like Roche who are leading the charge in the fight against COVID and will continue to do so in the weeks and in the months to come. I couldn't be more proud that they have chosen to expand right here in Mississauga. So once again, thank you for investing in our people and in our city's bright and promising future. And thank you, Premier and Ministers, for joining us to mark this significant investment in our city. And now I'd like to invite the Member of Provincial Parliament for this area, Mississauga-Streetsville, Nina Tangri, to the podium, please.
Well, thank you, and I want to echo Mayor Crombie's excitement about this significant investment here in Mississauga. Roche Canada will be creating good, well-paying jobs for Ontario's highly skilled workforce, and I have no doubt they will find the talent they're looking for. Ontario is home to some of the world's top talent in the life sciences sector. Our #1 advantage is our people. Ontario's 44 incredible public universities and colleges produce about 50,000 STEM grads per year. And our welcoming approach to immigration expands our talent pool even further, while producing different perspectives that enrich our culture of innovation. We also have one of the most unique and collaborative innovation ecosystems on the planet. Business, academia, and government work together to drive revolutionary ideas to market. Roche is already a key part of this collaborative community. And with this investment, I'm sure they will drive even more innovations that will improve people's lives. Thank you again to Roche Canada for everything you're doing to help us beat this pandemic. And congratulations on this exciting new investment. Thank you.
We'll go to the phone line for questions. Just a reminder that it's one question, one follow-up, please.
Actually, Christine, just before I take questions, I want to give a special shout out to Bruno Keller, President of Kraft Heinz Canada. Today, World Food Day, they're committing $20 million. I'm going to repeat that. That's big change there. $20 million over 5 years to Food Banks Canada through their charitable product donation program. This is great news. Thank you, Bruno. You can support the campaign by picking up Kraft Heinz products at the grocery store. And this is what I'm talking about when we go through this pandemic. Everyone's stepping up, everyone's pitching in. The large, small, medium companies, the people in Ontario are pitching in. So I'm very, very grateful. Very grateful.
First question, please.
First question comes from Laura Stone at the Globe and Mail. Please go ahead.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Premier.
Hi.
I'd like to ask about the new restrictions in York. I'm wondering how you came to that decision today, if that was made at Cabinet, and if you could explain why it was made. The numbers for York appear to be quite a bit lower than they were yesterday. And I also understand Cabinet was looking at some other regions, such as Halton. Why were those not included? If you could just go through the decision-making process, that would be great. Thank you.
Sure. Well, with York, and I'll get the minister will be better to answer this, but York, we saw the numbers escalating. They're up to the same range, roughly, where Peel and Toronto were, and we just have to stop the spread. Laura, I hate doing this. Like, you have no idea how much I hate doing this. You're up all night thinking of these companies, but we're going to do everything we can. The $300 million of support that they're eligible for, along with the federal grant program. They can go ask for a grant of $60,000. That's available, and also 65% of pay will be taken care of through the federal program as well. But we're going to be there, and I just ask the people for their patience, but I also ask the people, as much as no matter what all three levels of government do, we need the people to follow the guidelines to the best of their abilities, practice social distancing, don't gather in large groups. I'll give you an example. I heard out in the Halton region, because there's pickup hockey. I play pickup hockey. I used to play every Friday night, and you know, I know what happens. It's not the skating, it's the guys, and there's nothing wrong with it. Normal times, they grab the case of beer, they go into a little dressing room, and they have a couple cold ones, and they're stacked beside each other, and all of a sudden, 12 people out of 24 players got COVID. So things like that we just can't do, and I'm begging the people at Halton, please help me out here. I do not want to make that decision for Halton. Please follow the guidelines to the best of your ability, and just help us out. And I'll ask the Minister of Health to answer the conclusion of how we came up with York.
Well, this is a very difficult decision to make because we know it requires sacrifices on many people, and it's going to affect people's lives significantly. but we are seeing some concerning trends in York that required us to take action. So it's not necessarily what the numbers are from one day to the next, but the trends that we're seeing. And we are seeing an alarming upward trend. We take a look at the number of cases, and I say we, I mean the Chief Medical Officer of Health, the Public Health Measures Table, the Primary Care Table, the Modeling Table. There are many groups of people that are involved in producing these recommendations that then have to be discussed and decisions made at Cabinet, of course. But we take a look at the number of cases that we're seeing. We take a look at what the number per 100,000 is. The average in Ontario is about 33. We're at 39 in York Region right now. We take a look at the R factor, the reproductive number, which is well above what we want to see. So there are a number of indicators that we look at, not just one, but we're certainly seeing community transmission, which requires public health measures be taken. So we are taking these measures in York Region for 28 days. We sincerely hope that we don't have to do it in any of the other regions. We are looking at Halton, but again, to echo the Premier's plea, please continue to follow public health measures. Please keep physical distances, wear a mask where that's not possible, use frequent hand hygiene, wash your hands frequently and thoroughly, and please stay home. Do not go to work, do not go out if you don't feel well. And that's how we're going to flatten this curve and get the people of Ontario back to work. Thank you.
Follow up.
Thank you. Premier, I just want to follow up with you. You keep saying how much you hate this, how much you don't want to do it, but you're the one who's making the final decision. So I'm wondering from you, what is the long-term plan here? Is this every 28 days these regions and businesses are going to be waiting with bated breath to see what your government does next? How are people expected to live like this? And what is the long-term plan? Is it just a 30-day, month-to-month period now?
Yeah. So Laura, you're right. I do hate this. You know why? I relate to these small business owners. Our family has a small business, and I know, what it is to meet a payroll and see where your next paycheck's coming from, and making sure that you keep things moving forward. So yeah, does it bother me? It really bothers me more than anything at all. And yes, you're right. The decision's mine. I take full responsibility. But I have two choices here. I either listen to the experts, and I've always said from the beginning of this, I'll always listen to health and science and the experts. I'm not the health expert, but when I have the docs come up to me and tell me, this is the reason, this is where we're moving forward, and if not, we have the hospital capacity, we have OHA saying that, they're maxing out at the hospital capacity, and this gets worse. So yeah, 100%, it bothers me, and I have to listen to the health experts. But again, I'm going to repeat what I said the other day. We have to weigh economic versus health. And then imagine shutting your business down, you put everything in your life on a small restaurant, all of a sudden you're shutting it down, you're going belly up, you can't pay your mortgage, and all of a sudden you got to foreclose, you got to declare bankruptcy. Talk about depression, talk about mental health. That weighs on you. And the other thing is, unlike a lot of other elected officials, not their fault, be it premiers, I talk to people. I'm out there. I give everyone and their cousin my phone number, and I listen to them. And if they don't have my phone number, somehow they get my phone number, and I'm up till midnight returning calls, talking to these people, listening to them literally cry on the phone. That rips your heart out. But trust me when I say that. And you hear story after story after story, and then you have connections with people out in the Halton region, no matter if it's Oakville or Burlington or Milton. Yeah, that gets to you. Trust me, it gets to you. So it's not an easy decision.
Next question.
Next question comes from Randy Rath from Sage TV. Please go ahead.
Hi, Randy.
Hi, Pri. I want to get back to the flu shot. There's still a lot of confusion and frustration among patients and pharmacists who can't get the vaccine. We surveyed over 100 pharmacies in Hamilton, Halton, Niagara, and Mississauga, and we could only find 5 that had any supply at all. The rest are starting to book appointments in November. The recent stuff that was a vaccine that was released by Public Health Ontario that wasn't a new shipment. That was a supply that they that they have on hand since they made the first shipments. Can you explain why Public Health Ontario wouldn't have released all of the vaccine that they had in their first release, so that the huge demand for shots that we have now could have been more satisfied?
Yeah, I'll pass it over to the Minister of Health. Thank you.
Well, first let me say we do not have a shortage of flu vaccines. We are receiving them from several manufacturers, global manufacturers, on a regular basis. They will be coming in, and everyone who wants to receive a flu shot will be able to get one. We ordered 5.1 million doses, several 100,000 more than we ordered last year, including the high-dose vaccine for people who are over 65 years of age. The good news, if you can call it that, at this point is that there are many people who are anxious to receive a flu shot, and that is something that we want people to do. That is one of the most important steps that people can take to stay out of hospital and to stay healthy this fall and winter. But we are receiving shipments on a regular basis. There may be, I know there are some pharmacies right now that have run out, but they will be receiving regularly scheduled shipments. We do not have any problem with the supply. We are searching for, if we need it in the future, additional supplies, working with Health Canada. But as far as the Ontario shipments are concerned, they have been ordered and they are coming in on schedule from global manufacturers.
Follow-up?
Yeah, I'd also like to ask about people from hotspots traveling to other areas. Jane McKenna last night was basically saying that she wanted Torontonians to stay away from Halton, and we've had reports of some restaurants in Niagara that are demanding ID to show that you live in the region before they will serve you. How big of a problem is people coming out of Toronto, and have they've been responsible for any spread in the other regions?
Well, I've talked to, I'll give you an example. I talked to the mayor, Mayor Burton, last night. And yeah, there's people going in there. I talked to MPP Jane McKenna as well last night, and they'll go to their gym. They'll go to the big fitness clubs, and they're packed. So we just can't have that, folks, especially on the fitness side. Try to stay at home, try to do your fitness there, but it just, if we cross the border and we start doing that, then it's just going to spread even more. So please just stay within your area, do your best, and that's all I'm asking. Just again, follow the protocols and the guidelines. The quicker we do this, the quicker we can get back on our feet there. But I understand it's tough. And the people of York Region, you have till Monday. Do you know what it really kills me is these restaurants, they get 2 days notice on this. And like, go out there, please support these restaurants. Anyone in York Region, you got your local restaurant, support them, order takeout, do whatever it takes to support them, because it makes a huge difference to these restaurant owners.
Next question.
Next question comes from Haley Cooper at News Talk 1010. Please go ahead.
Hi, Haley.
Hi, Premier. You kind of led into my question for you, which is last Friday, Toronto and Peel were given about 11 hours notice before being rolled back to the modified Stage 2. So why is the decision being made to wait an entire weekend before rolling York Region back if it's such a dire situation that it needs to be rolled back in the first place, but we're allowing for people to go out and dine indoors all weekend long?
Well, I'm encouraging people to order takeout, but we got to be fair. And I hear you. Here's the balance again. You get criticized, or my poor docs that are trying, they get criticized when they put down the hammer, and tomorrow, and everyone's stuck with food, probably millions and millions of dollars of inventory in their freezers and fridge. So they're trying to balance it, and they got a very difficult job. So as we brought this to Cabinet, and they spoke to Cabinet yesterday, we asked them, please just give these restaurants a couple days to get rid of their food. That food to them, that's money. And so I encourage everyone, please order takeout, help these folks deplete the inventory, because that was a big issue last time. So again, as difficult as it is for the docs to make a decision, at least they're listening, they're trying to balance. They're under a lot of pressure too. And make no mistake about it, on our cabinet calls, our caucus calls, oh my goodness, we have some real serious debates. We do, like deep debates on this. We have all different points of view. But at the end of the day, I got to make the decision. I got to listen to the health experts. But we're going to try to keep this balance going with the economy. It's not easy, I'll tell you that.
Follow-up?
Thank you. And my follow-up is for the Health Minister. We've been noticing some discrepancies in the percent positive rates that are being reported, and it's been going on for several weeks. So the percent positive rate being reported by Ontario Health is turning out to be different from the number of new cases divided into the number of tests. So for example, Ontario Health is reporting the percent positive rate today is 2%, but the math shows that it's actually 1.8%. And last week, the difference was much more significant. So we just wanted to know why this is happening.
Well, I believe it has something to do with the timing. Some days there are reports that come in perhaps past the time when they calculate that number. So we are trying to make sure that we provide as much information to people on as quickly as possible in real time. So that is one of the reasons why you're seeing that. We are trying to provide that information in a coordinated manner, but the things are changing very quickly. But I think that's the reason why you're seeing that discrepancy. But we are working very hard to make sure that we produce that time as quickly as we can to people, because we know it's very important to people across the province to know where they stand in their particular region.
Next question.
Next question comes from Travis Danrash at Global News. Please go ahead.
Hi, Travis.
Hi there, Premier. Thanks for taking my questions.
Thank you.
Listen, I know you're getting a lot of questions on this modified Stage 2 in York Region. My questions are for some colleagues of mine on different stories that they're working on.
Sure.
Farah Nasser, our anchor, is working on a story on the Muslim community, and she would like to know this. The National Council of Canadian Muslims says in the past 6 months, almost every mosque in Toronto has faced some sort of dangerous threat. Beyond statements, what are you doing? What is your government doing to support mosques and the Muslim community?
Well, first of all, no matter if it's Islamic community, if it's a Jewish community, if it's any community, the black community, I have zero tolerance for discrimination. I have zero tolerance for people attacking mosques. And by the way, the community has given back so much throughout this pandemic. The Muslim community has stepped up. They have made thousands and thousands of meals supporting communities, not just within the Muslim community, but anyone who needs help. So they've been great, and I want to thank them. But we have to be vigilant. But do you know what comes to, Travis? When we catch these people, and we will catch them, we need tougher sentences. I keep saying this. They get off, they get a slap on the wrist, they get off on bail, and then if they do get sentenced, it's a slap on the wrist. Let's start putting down some heavy sentences to send a message to the rest of the haters out there. We live in Ontario. We just will not tolerate it. That's what's amazing about Ontario and Canada. Everyone comes from all over the world. And 99.9% of everyone is living side by side, getting along, working together. And it's not about if you're black, white, yellow, whatever it is. It's about being an Ontarian, being a Canadian, doing the right thing, protecting your community. And we all need to support other communities that are under attack like this. But I'll tell you, Travis, I have zero tolerance for that sort of nonsense. If I was a judge, I'd throw them in jail and throw the key away, fix their little red wagons.
Follow up.
And yes, this is from Matthew Bingley, who is our municipal affairs reporter, about what's going on down the street at City Hall. Toronto has unveiled its plans to purchase dozens of new transit vehicles with money raised by tax increases. It has plans to take that further, but it will need a financial commitment from the province to do so. Can it count on the province to come through?
Well, we supported Bombardier last time, and we'll be sitting down with our committee to see how we can help them. I believe it's 13 streetcars. We did, and now this wasn't on infrastructure, but we did give them $400 million to get them through and support them that way. But again, do you know what I need? The federal government. I need the federal government to support us, step up. We've committed to build 4 subway lines. We need the federal support. We can't do this alone. You know, this is a $28.5 billion project, getting people out of the cars, getting people from point A to point B. It's a lot more environmentally friendly. I know they're big on the environment, the feds, so please help me out. I need the money. I keep saying and asking and asking and asking. Just please support us. We're putting our money where our mouth is. We need your support. And you've been great so far, believe me. They've been great, but we need to move this forward. And if they pitch in and help, then we'll pitch in and help.
Last
So we
question.
need their support.
Last question comes from Luke Hendry at The Intelligencer. Please go ahead.
Hi, Luke. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Premier. We're hearing some asymptomatic people have tried to get tested at pharmacies only to learn that they aren't eligible. And the message during these briefings has been that people without symptoms can seek testing at a pharmacy.
That's
but given that not everyone who's asymptomatic is eligible, is there any plan to expand those criteria or make that testing available to everyone? And in the meantime, what's your advice to people who want a test but can't get one?
Well, I'll pass that over to the Minister of Health. Thank you.
Well, we have expanded the testing into pharmacies for asymptomatic people. We will be opening them in more locations so that anybody who wants a test who is asymptomatic can get that. We need to make sure that people, of course, have an appointment before they go to a pharmacy where they are screened, and then they're screened again when they come in, because the last thing we want is for symptomatic people to be coming into pharmacies, because we're also doing flu shots there, and there are a number of seniors there. So we want this to be safe for everyone who needs a test, but if you are symptomatic, we are asking that you make the appointment to go into the assessment center in order to be screened. So we really have to maintain those 2 separations to protect the health and safety of everyone.
Follow up.
Thank you. But again, will Ontario expand that criteria for asymptomatic people so that more people who are asymptomatic can get a test?
Well, we're looking at the need right now, and if there are larger groups of people that need to be screened through pharmacies, of course, we'll take a look at it. We're constantly looking at the data, and we're constantly looking at the different situations where people need to be tested, and so, of course, we will take a look at that, and if we need to make changes, we will.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.